reacting to what Dari has told us around Chika, Amalaha, and of course around Blessing. A lot of reactions on Twitter. We'll come to them very shortly. But Dumnadi, before we close this segment of the Commonwealth Games, I saw Governor Emmanuel Obuaha jumping up and celebrating with Blessing. And surely they have every right to celebrate because they've invested in Blessing. And I think that's a good example of what investing in talent can do to a country. What Delta has done for Blessing Okagbare.
Yes, since they won a bronze at the Olympic in Beijing, that's been the tradition. They send her money, give her all manners of support. Don't feel that you don't have these distractions when it comes to manners of support. You could see that the governor celebrated more than some of the fans there, and that shows that for in his mind, at least money well invested. That's what it means in his mind. So we're not saying, at least if we know we have just one athlete. Before the Commonwealth Games, we said we are going to get, if it's going to be one medal, Blessing in athletics, and we are seeing that now. She's won the only medals in athletics. Maybe we're waiting for a para athletic and the other parts to do there. But I think that's money well invested. The way she's been packaged, it's not just athletics alone, life after athletics. Because if she finishes her athletic career, she still come back to the commission to serve
and transfer the knowledge that she has and the experience.
So people start
coming young athletes
because what they are thinking is life after sport. Because you know, sporting career is for a woman very short.
She gets married and starts to make babies.
Of course, we hear the story that she's going to get married to a former Rangers striker Igor Toeri in November. You know what it means. So a lot of things will come in, responsibility will come in. She will start gradually easing out of the system. But before she goes out of the system, she will have to come back, maybe probably get people, because we are not getting people who will replace her. All our hopes on the person that probably said we took first and last yesterday's 100 meter. First and last.
That's the gap.
That's the gap.
That's the sign of the gap that we have. In talent.
That's a major challenge here. We must ensure that we don't put more pressure on her, because like David mentioned, if the Jamaicans are here, the Jamaicans, you will see 2-3 people in one in the final of every event, especially in athletics. So that's a lesser pressure for them. So they want to chase for not. If a Jamaica does not win, another Jamaica must win. That's what we should be looking at, not just blessing alone. It's a whole lot of pressure. In future, we must get someone who will replace her.
All right, I think that's the message. But before we close this segment, let's just look at the medals table and see what the medal table looks like after the medals that we've won in the last couple of days. Let's just quickly see if we can get you up to speed with what it looks like. Nigeria still in the top 10, but let's also inform you we have 3 gold medals recorded there for you on the screen, but it could change tomorrow after the base sample has been tested. And if it is, the way the A sample went, that gold will be stripped off Nigeria and will be back to 2. And our position probably will slip out of the top 10. But Australia still setting the pace, England still second, Scotland third, Canada fourth, India fifth. Well, the best ranked African nation is South Africa, but Nigeria is in the top 10 based on the 3 gold that we have already. By tomorrow, when the base sample is tested and the result comes out, it could be down to 2 gold. But let's hope that some other athletes will step up and then more medals will come in. Gold for Nigeria at the ongoing Commonwealth Games. All right, let's go on a quick break to wrap up this segment. And then when we return from that, we'll just spend some time to reflect on the drama in the house of football on Sports Tonight. Join us again.
I switched to Etisalat because my old network wasn't working. I wasn't sure of how long the switch would take. But then when I went to Etisalat Experience Center, I was there for about 10 minutes and then they gave me a new SIM card. I just switched my SIM card and it was working right away. I'm just me most of the time, playful, happy me. As a photographer, I use a lot of data because I need to upload pictures to the internet for my clients. If I know what I know now, I would have switched a long time ago.
Switch to quality today. Etisalat, now you're talking.
All right, thank you for staying with us. It's time for us to move on very quickly. Let's just run through very quickly for you some stories and some information that we've been able to put together around the state of football. And really, it's about the drama that is unfolding around the Nigerian Football Federation. Since we returned from the World Cup, it's been one drama after the other. And of course, for those of you who have been following, it started with a court case. dissolving the board came, the FIFA hammer came, the court case was reversed, the board met, they impeached the president, and the latest one is that we're supposed to have a Congress of the Nigerian Football Federation on Thursday, and we're also supposed to have a board meeting on Wednesday to precede the Congress. But the stories coming out from Abuja is that that Congress may not just hold. Before we go on, let's bring something to you that we got from one of our sources in the Glass House. They called it the 15 impeachable offenses, the offenses that the 8 board members read out when they were carrying out the impeachment of the NFF president. I hope we'll have it on slide for you, so we can just allow you to see it very quickly. They called it 15 impeachable offenses, and we just want to read out the summary of what those offenses were before we go on to update you with the other confusion that is raging on in the house of football. Number one, they said it couldn't account for $6.4 million 2010 FIFA World Cup prize money. These were the offenses that were read out to the NFF president last week before his impeachment, as they say. Then they said the 2013 Africa Cup of Nations prize money of $1.5 million was, he also needs to account for it. And then the 2013 Federation Cup prize money of $1.75 million. Then the 2014 CHAN prize money, that was early this year in South Africa, $250,000. They also said one of the offenses was that he didn't tell anybody. Nobody knows how much we make from international friendly matches, and we played about 26 international friendly matches under Aminu Maigari. They also talked about right fees from sponsors and partners. They talked about savings from the NFF headquarters and the grants that they get from FIFA. They talked about the 2014 FIFA World Cup grant of $1.5 million to prepare the national teams. Number 9, they said federal government special grant of $850 million for the World Cup. They talked about monthly $150 million naira subvention from the federal government. And then they talked about insufficient number of board meetings, spendings without board approvals, borrowing from bureau de change without board approval, and then they said misappropriation of funds, and then changing of national team's color. These were the 15 impeachable offenses that were read out. In case you've not seen them before, in case this is the first time you're seeing it, these were the impeachable offenses that they read out to NFF president, or former NFF president, as you may choose to call him, during the board meeting that they had last week. But let's just go on and also tell you about the news coming through about the board meeting tomorrow in Abuja and the Congress that we're supposed to have as well on Thursday. The news coming out is that there are plans that that Congress should not hold anymore. That's it. Reports say that the NFF Executive Committee plans to call off the Thursday, July 31, 2014 Congress in Abuja. Some Congress delegates are reportedly planning to still go ahead with the meeting even if the NFF Executive Committee calls it off. And I think the reason is because they have seen, from what we hear, that they are not going to get majority endorsement for the impeachment of the NFF president, because the delegates are not convinced about Aminu Maigari's suspension owing to the list of impeachable offenses. And they say those are supposed to be secretariat duties, auditors' duties, and since 2010, at the annual general meeting that they hold every year, some of these things had been included in the auditor's report, and so they are not supposed to be offenses through which the president can be impeached. All kinds of formula, all kinds of permutations are going on about it. And Dumnodi, for me, people are not really interested in the politics that they are playing. It's just that whatever we need to do to avoid putting ourselves in more confusion, in more crisis, we need to do it. They read through the list of 15, and some of them said, look, that is not the president's, portfolio. That's supposed to be the secretariat giving accounts of all of these monies. I don't know.
Well, if I have a picture of those meetings, the first one when they had their Congress, the illegal Congress first, before the FIFA came, would have been stage 1. Stage 2 was the board meeting that they held before Maigari was impeached. Then stage 3 would have been the one on Thursday. Then I'll put that together. I'll present it before Oscar, and they will nominate those movies.
For Oscar Awards?
For Oscar Awards.
Well, these are serious issues, do
and no matter how serious you think they are, when you mention, they mention 15.
Impeachable offenses.
Impeachable offenses, and some of them are secretarial duties. responsibilities, and you are putting it before the one man, just one man.